your story is not finished, and how it will finish is not determined. We've been looking at how we develop our own personal stories, and your story has a past, a present, and a future. Now, in this series, we have considered the way in which we relate to our past. The previous few videos, we looked at how we relate to the present. But today, we're going to look specifically at how we relate to the future, and the term under which I can summarize this relationship is the concept of hope. Now, anxiety is a fearful expectation that the future includes pain and suffering, but hope is this expectation of something exciting, something beautiful, something joyous. So the topic of hope, I think many people like myself who have grown up in a religious and a Christian background, the way in which I began my first understanding of hope was really based on the kind of attitude and doctrines towards life that basically said this life is a very painful journey, but we hope that one day we'll reach the goal of heaven, and then we'll have all the joy we can imagine. And so it was very much an otherworldly hope. But that has dramatically changed for me, and I know for many of you as well. The revelation of Jesus Christ, this event in which God demonstrated that He can live His life in and through a human being, that this flesh, this world, this moment is where He finds His existence through His creation. And so the incarnation, this beautiful unveiling of God's presence in the here and now, has transformed our attitude to our world and our existence here and now. The present has become beautiful. It has become meaningful. It is no longer the kind of just unnecessary suffering from which we want to escape. Rather, it is incredibly meaningful existence that we want to fully grasp and appreciate. Now, many of our audience would identify, shall we call it the grace movement or the finished work of Christ movement, and basically that's a very general term to describe this kind of movement. People who have come from a religious upbringing where we had to constantly do stuff and constantly not do other stuff in order to win God's favor. But then the revelation of God's grace, the revelation of who Christ is in us, brought us to understand that life is not about trying to win God's favor, but about discovering the enormity of the favor that He has shown us already. It's not about what you should do, but all about what Christ has done. And so the term the finished work is very much kind of based on John 19, the last words that Jesus speaks upon the cross in the Gospel of John, where He says, "It is finished." Now, that understanding where the emphasis is now completely placed upon what Christ has done, no longer on what I should do. And the focus is more about discovering and appreciating the beauty that's already here. That kind of makes the theme of hope rather irrelevant. And I think we've missed something incredibly powerful there. If we become so preoccupied with the present, with discovering, with just living in this moment, we miss out on the God of possibility, the God who opens up opportunities, who invites us into a future that can transform our reality. You see, faith and hope and the message of Christ is not really just about making you more comfortable with where you're at or who you are. The message of Christ is a message that really wants to call you out of your comfort, out of your boring reality, out of the habit of being yourself, into the glorious possibility of transforming your world in the process of being transformed yourself. And so this living hope that 1 Peter 1 verse 3 speaks about, the very purpose for the resurrection of Jesus, is to regenerate us, to renew us to a living hope. What does that mean? It means that there is more than this moment. that Christ offers us more than simply discovering what he has done. He offers us the opportunity to co-create with him stuff that has never been, meaning and beauty that has never existed before. You are invited into the heart of the creative Trinity to continue to unfold your story and its relationship to the story of this world and create something truly new. You see, what Christ finished is for the purpose of starting a new creation. It's not all about what's finished. Every ending is also a beginning. And the old way of being human, the old Adamic race, yes, that was brought to an end, so that the possibility, a completely new possibility, a new way of being human, a new way of transforming our world can take shape through you. And nothing communicates that more powerfully than the resurrection. The resurrection is this declaration that what you thought is impossible, with God, all things are possible. This gospel is much more exciting than a simple affirmation that you can just be happy with where you're at and who you are. This gospel is the powerful declaration that the creative Spirit of God has taken residence within you so that you can transform your world and transform who you are. So there's a living hope, and our relationship to the future this expectation that we can participate with God in creating something so meaningful. That is a powerful foundation of our faith. You see, your story has not been determined. Of course, God has beautiful desires and beautiful dreams for you, and to the extent that we align ourselves with His calling into love, His calling into this beautiful future, to that extent we can realize it. But He has not determined every step of your future. Rather, He has empowered you to co-create with Him the beauty and the meaning of your future. Thank you. Bye.